Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday night. In less than 2 hours, Monday Night Raw will air. Lots of things are going to happen on Raw tonight, especially in the women's division. First of all, current champion Naomi will speak supposedly on the state of the women's division, but probably more on the state of herself and her health. Remember, last week she scratched a championship match against Io Sky, and we've been wondering for a full week now just what is going on. All right, so what if Naomi vacates the belt, which is what most people think is going to happen tonight, me included? Now, that said, the belt will be vacant. Do they hand it to somebody? I certainly hope not. Do they have a gauntlet? Or a Royal Rumble? Or a Battle Royal? I hope not. What I hope happens is the belt remains vacant until the Clash in Paris, just 2 weeks away, folks. The belt can remain vacant for 2 weeks, and then they have a championship match at the Clash in Paris. And of course, there's only two ladies who have been promised title matches recently. Stephanie Vaquer, who won a Battle Royal at Evolution, guaranteeing her a championship match with whomever the champion is at Clash of Paris. And Io Sky, who was granted a title match against Naomi last Monday Night Raw, and Naomi scratched. For me, that would be the match of the year for the championship at Clash in Paris. Now, tonight, though, we have Io Sky, who has to wrestle Raquel Rodriguez, the other half of the tag team of Perez and Rodriguez. And as we know, last week, Perez won over IU because the Kabuki Warriors interfered, and Perez got a unclean, not clean, roll-up, handful of tights, pin on Io Sky. So, Io will now wrestle the other half of that tag team. I ask why? Well, envision this. I don't think it's about the match. Don't forget, we have Asuka, and I believe she's turning 100% heel now, and they're going to use Io for that to happen. I believe there will be a beatdown. I could be wrong, but that would make sense. A Kabuki Warrior beatdown against Io Sky. Or Perez will interfere. Either way, there will be some sort of beatdown. And what would happen, do you think, Dan? What would be something interesting? How about a woman herself who knows about having to give up her title due to injury and being betrayed by her faction? That would be Rhea Ripley. What if Rhea Ripley came out and made the save for Io Sky? That would keep her in the mix without having to really wrestle. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, this entire women's division arc has not been based on the champion Naomi, but on Io Sky and her journey. The major arc for this is Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. That is the main arc of the women's division right now. Everything else, to include the champion, revolves around Io Sky. So does Io lose tonight? I don't think so. Does she win tonight? That would be the best bet, but not necessary. A beatdown, disqualification, a no contest, although not quite as good, would work. What we need to do here, folks, what WWE needs to do here. And of course, I'm not on the creative team, although sometimes I think I write better stories than they do. However, Io Sky needs to go to Japan in mid-October. She will be a marquee attraction. She is the ace of Stardom. She is a legend, not just in Japan, but especially Japan, but worldwide. She is the only person on the WWE roster that is, in fact, an international legend. There are others on the roster who are known internationally, but only Io Sky fits the bill for international legend. And they're sending her home as a marquee. What does that mean? They cannot send her home in a weakened condition. So, a loss tonight would be 4 straight. Either clean or unclean. They're not going to do that. They're just not going to do that. I can't believe it. And, well, now, but if in fact it's a DQ or no contest, that's like 4 straight. A win would be better. But I believe there's only one option for Clash of Paris if Naomi vacates the title tonight. And that is Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the championship. They must send Io Sky to Japan strong, not weak. So that's my take. I do believe it will be Io Sky versus Vaquer. I also believe Io Sky will walk away with the championship in Paris. Unless they're just throwing that arc completely out and going completely with Vaquer. And I know they have big plans for Vaquer. Stephanie McMahon said that. But I don't believe it's quite her time yet. They have a lot of unfinished business. Especially Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And now you have the Kabukis. You have Perez and Raquel. Of course, you have Rhea. Becky Lynch could come over. Bayley's coming back. You've got a stable, and it's a good one. So the state of the women's division is strong. But the arc, as we speak tonight, remains Io Sky and her journey. And Rhea's too. But no one else's. Everyone else in the division right now revolves around Io Sky / Rhea Ripley. So that's my take. Do I believe Naomi will vacate the title tonight? I'm leaning heavily yes, but you never know. Her dad says it's going to be epic, whatever that means. Natalya says it's crazy, but not in a bad way. So it all sounds to me like, yep, vacate. And if I had to make a guess, of course, it's just a guess. If I had to make a guess, Naomi is pregnant. That's my guess. So, that's my take on the whole thing. Naomi to vacate, Io Sky to win, or no contest / DQ, but not a loss. And then we move forward next week for the Go Home episode of Raw, and then Clash in Paris. Granddaddy P. Signing out.